In. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to Estes Field on the campus of Central Methodist University for today's Central Methodist baseball doubleheader taking on Mount Mercy. It's game 3 and 4 of the series there. Quentin Norris sitting in the catbird seat there as well. Central Methodist, they are 23 and 4, 9 and 1 in the conference, while Mount Mercy 12 and 12, 8 and 2 in the conference. Two teams played yesterday. Central Methodist won the first game 3-2 on a game-winning sac fly by Jeremy Conforte with the victory there as well. And then game number 2, Central Methodist took care of Mount Mercy 2-0 thanks to a 2-hit performance by Clayton Burke there as well. If you look at the numbers there hitting-wise, leading the way for Mount Mercy, it is Brandon Bickford, 367 hitter. No homers, 4 RBIs. For Central Methodist, that's Carlos Negron. That is a 463 average, 13 homers, 42 RBIs on the air. Pitching-wise, it is for Mount Mercy, Lucas Walker, 0-0 with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, while Justin Steedray leading the way in the pitching department, 0-0, 1.50 ERA, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts as well. Upcoming sports events going on there as well. Of course, both on the here at Central, but on the National Sports Center. Of course, the softball team, they'll be taking on Clark in a 2 o'clock doubleheader there as well. Of course, Central Methodist swept the doubleheader from Mount Mercy, winning the first one 5-2 and a 2-0 victory. They're ranked number 3 in the poll. Central Methodist baseball is number 6 in the poll there as well. So, and they're 2-0 in the conference there as well. Tonight, it's an NHL game on ABC television. The Florida Panthers take on the New York Rangers at 7 o'clock there on ABC television. And if you look at the standings in the NHL, Florida 45, 20-4, 94 points. They're second in the Atlantic, while the Rangers, they're in first place in the Metropolitan Division, 46, 20-4. And, of course, the Rangers, they're in the number 2 spot, but they're only 1 point behind the Boston Bruins for the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference, and most likely could win the President's Trophy for the best record in the National Hockey League there as well. And you look at the rest of the standings in order. Of course, the Carolina Hurricanes, they're number 3 spot there. The number 4 spot is, of course, the Florida Panthers. Number 5, most likely will be the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then the number 6 spot will be the Philadelphia Flyers. So at the playoffs, and then the 2 wild cards, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, at the playoffs start today, Boston will take on Detroit in the first round. Then you got New York Rangers take on Tampa Bay. Then the number 3 spot there is Carolina will take on Philadelphia. And then, of course, Florida takes on Toronto in the East. In the Western Conference, of course, it's a tight one down there as, of course, as Vancouver has a 1-game lead, 1-point lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Actually, they're tied with Dallas there as well for the Central Division. And then number 3 spot is Winnipeg there as well. And then in the Pacific Division, of course, Vancouver pretty much running away with the Pacific. Edmonton is 8, and then you got the Los Angeles Kings in the number 3 spot. The 2 wild cards, Vegas, you got lost Nashville, and the Vegas Golden Knights are still in the hunt there as well. And, of course, if the playoffs started today, it looks like Vancouver will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. They are the defending Stanley Cup champions. That should be a fun series down there as well. Then the number 2 spot, of course, Colorado. Of course, they go by the number. Of course, they have the number 1 spot because they have more victories than the Dallas Stars there as well in that Central Division. They'll take on Nashville in a first-round game. And then the number 3 spot there, will probably be Dallas, take on the Los Angeles Kings. And then the Winnipeg takes on Edmonton. And, of course, the playoffs, they begin in about 4 weeks from now. 4 weeks is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, the NHL regular season ends on April 18th. There as well. So, there as well. And, of course, everybody's wanting to know about 5 more days. I think 5 more days. is, of course, the Major League Baseball season. Of course, the St. Louis Cardinals open up their season taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers at 3 p.m. down at Dodger Stadium. Of course, the Dodgers played a couple of games down in Seoul, South Korea this past Wednesday and Thursday. They, of course, split the series with San Diego. Dodgers won the first game 5-2, and then San Diego won it 15-11 down there as well. Kansas City opens up with the Minnesota Twins, and then the first ESPN game will be on that Thursday night, taking as the Chicago Cubs taking on the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. I know my friend Pam Norton is excited about it. And of course, Friday we got softball taking on Baker at noon, and baseball takes on Mid-America at 1 o'clock there as well. You look at the standings, Mid-America 13-1, 20-7 altogether. These two teams will meet Friday and Saturday as well. It should be a fun 4-game series. Central Methodist 9-1. They're 23-4. Mount Mercy 8-2, 12-12. Park is 10-6, 8-8. Baker 9-6, 11-18. Clark 7-5, 12-16. Culver Stockton 5-5, 8-17-1. Per State 7-8, 10-18. Grandview 2-6, 11-10. Benedictine 3-11, 9-21. William Penn is 2-8, 10-15. Missouri Valley 2-10, 11-14. Graceland 0-8 and 12-14 all together there as well. We'll go ahead and give you today's starting lineup, sponsored by Emmett's Kitchen and Tap. And leading off is their second baseman, Jaden Hackburn. Batting in the number 2 spot is Joel Vasquez, batting in the number 9. 3 spot there is Matthew Murphy, batting in the number 4 spot is their left fielder, Josh Nortoriano, batting in the number 5 spot. Their first baseman, Brian Runquist, batting in 6th spot is their third baseman, Bryce Brown, 7th spot there. Number 7 spot there, it is Kyle Motor, batting 8th. Is their catcher, Nick Meyer, batting 9. It is Drake Fraser, today's starting pitcher, Kyle Lehman. While for Central Methodist, that's Bobby Nichols in center field. Valentin Cerner Jr. is at second base. Tanner Sears at third. Carlos Negron in right. Jeremy Conforte is DH. Diego Duran is at short. Zeb Weedy is in left. Joseph Weatherford at first base. And Dominic Van Dorn is the catcher, today's starting pitcher, Foster Seitz. Well, right now we're listening in on to Cameron Mahan. He is the PA announcer for today's game. Great to see him there as well. Great friend there from, of course, a sophomore from Cape Girardeau. Of course, head coach for Mount Mercy is Jack Dom. For Central Methodist, that's Nate Brill, assistant coach Jordan Schwellenbach, Clayton Houchin, and Trey Rasenfoss. And I also want to thank the baseball team for getting me a new hoodie and a new baseball hat. So I want to thank them as well. Of course, Clayton Houchin brought it up to the press box up there as well, as Bobby Nichols is being out and introduced out in center field. Valentin Cerna Jr. That's Tanner Sears. Carlos Negron. Jeremy Conforte. Diego Duran. Zeb Weedy. That's Joseph Weatherford. That's Foster Seitz. The Eagles are led by head coach Nate Breland, and he's assisted by Jordan Schwellenbach, Clayton Houchin, Trey Rasenfoss. And the CMU baseball team would like to honor our coaches of the day, Elias Bronson and Kason Woodward. Back at the starting lineup, national anthem. We're about ready to get started. Quentin Norris in the catbirds here. We'll set the defense for you. Sponsored by Dairy Queen. That's Zeb Weedy out in left. Bobby Nichols, center field. Carlos Negron in right. Down at third base, Tanner Sears. That shortstop, Diego Diarin. Second baseman, Valentin Cerna Jr. First baseman, Joseph Weatherford. Dominic Van Dorn is behind the plate. And there you look, today's starting pitcher, Foster Seitz. 5-1, 3.69 ERA, 10 walks, and 30 strikeouts. Of course, he is from St. Louis. Of course, I've been told, I think his mom, Jill, should be arriving here shortly there, unless she already came on in there as well. So, I want to say hi to her family. Also, her dad, Greg, her sister, Lila. His sister, Lila, is there, all listening, and I'm sure they are keeping an eye on the dog there as well. Making sure nobody does not steal any food, and making sure Tom the cat or most notably keeping Yogi Bear in line, because Yogi Bear can get out of line, especially if he steals picnic baskets. Of course, we got the starting lineup for Mount Mercy. That is their second baseman, Jaden Hackburr, Joe Vasky, and that is Matthew Murphy. Down in left field, that's Josh Noriano. That is Riley Runquist. Bryce Brown. Kyle Mulder. Their catcher is Nick Meyer, the catcher. And that's Drake Frazier. For Jack Dom and Dahim, their head coach, and they'll throw it down the second.
All right, here we go.
Now batting, number 4, Jaden Hackburn.
Here's Jaden Hackburn, 229 hitter, 3 homers, 5 RBIs from Nia, Wisconsin. Around the Milwaukee area. Home of legendary announcer Bob Uecker. We're about ready to get started. Foster Sight getting the sight from Dominic Dandor. Here's the first pitch. That is a ball coming at 12:58 p.m. Temperature about 44 degrees. The time and temperature is sponsored by the parking spot. Easy to spot and easy to park. The parking spot. Nice stop by Van Dorn, and it's 2-0 to count there. 2 balls and no strikes on Jaden Hackburn. Foster Sight just needs to talk to the baseball. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 2-1 there. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jaden Hackburn. 2-1 pitch is a liner right to Valentin Cerna Jr. And there's 1 out now. Hit it right on the button there.
Now batting, number 8, Joel Vasky.
Here's Joel Vasky, a 356 hitter, 2 homers, 8 RBIs. He is from a town of New Vinya, Iowa. First pitch to him. Fouls it to the screen, and it's 0-1. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. As Vin Scully would say, hey, let's pull up a chair then, and let's get ready for some baseball. Feels like I'm doing the game of the week on NBC television. The 0-1 now. Oh, nice stop by Van Dorn. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last time Foster Sight pitched was a week ago Saturday. 6 solid innings. Gave up 1 run on 1 hit against Waldorf. Oh, nice on the inside corner. 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Joel Vasky. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, as Joe Garagiola would say on NBC television. That is called framing the outside corner. So 2 quick outs now. And here is their designated hitter, Matthew Murphy. Matthew Murphy up there 347 hitter, 2 homers, 13 RBI. He is from Chicago. Of course, the Cubs take on the Rangers on opening night, March the 28th, 6:30 p.m. there. Oh and 1 the count. Matthew Murphy. Here's your 0-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 now. No balls and 2 strikes. Mount Mercy in the Navy uniform, Navy trim. There's a high fly ball. Nichols has it in a 1-2-3 inning. Good start there. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on. We go to the first. No scoring. We'll go ahead and set the defense for you for Mount Mercy. It is sponsored by Casey's General Store. It is Josh Noriano in left field. That's Drake Razors in center. Out in right field, Joe Vasky. At third base, it is Bryce Brown. Shortstop, Kyle Boulder. Second baseman, Jaden Hackberth. First baseman, it is Riley Runquist. Their catcher today is Nick Meyer, and today's starting pitcher, it is number 9, Kyle Lehman from Pescata, Iowa. 1-3 with 4 walks and 12 strikeouts there. Central Methodist, they're sporting the green uniform. White trim, the white numerals, birds on the bats. Nate Breland coaching at third. That's Trey Rosenflash coaching at first base. Of course, the umpiring crew, they're all set there as well behind the plate there. That is Larry Barnett. Out in the field there is Jim Quick. As Bobby Nichols will be up the bat there. Nichols is a 348 hitter, 4 homers, 16 RBIs from Detroit. Of course, home of the Detroit Tigers. Of course, 40 years ago, the Detroit Tigers won the World Series, 5 games over the San Diego Padres. And that year, they started out 35-5. And he loops a liner in the center field. That is a base hit there for Bobby Nichols. Here's Valentin Cerna Jr., 424 hitter, 1 homer, 19 RBIs. He is from a town of Ingleside, Illinois. Nichols at first. I'm sure his family, his dad, Mom Nicole. There goes Nichols on the first pitch. Safe, a stolen base. I will tell you this. I would like to see Bobby Nichols challenge Ron LaFleur in a 40-yard dash.
I think that was a strike, Gabby. Strike.
0-1 the count there on Valentin Cerna Jr. The 0-1 now. Hits a high fly ball in the right center field. That's well hit. Center fielder goes back, makes a catch against the wall. Now Bobby Nichols hits over to third, so 1 out now. Now I know with a good speed that he could score from second on a sac fly, and I have seen that one time. That was in a World Series back in 1982. And I think that was Ozzie Smith scoring on a sac fly from second against the Milwaukee Brewers. A 358 hitter, 8 homers, 38 RBIs from Higgins. Of course, got to meet his mom. Of course, mom is sporting the Polaroid camera. That kind of gets away from there. Here comes Nichols. Here's the throw. Not in time. Save. That'll be a pass ball there. 1-0 lead for Central Methodist.
Yes.
That should be a pass ball. 1-0 on Tanner Sears from Higginsville. Of course, his dad is Kurt. Mom, Shelly. Of course, his grandmother is Connie. He has a sister named Tori. And he fouls that one off. 1-1. Also, one of his high school classmates, his name is Gage Wetland. Of course, I know his mom, Carrie, who used to live in the town of Gillum. 1-1 now. 2-1. And, of course, his Aunt Courtney as well. I remember those two. And then their best friend was named Kristen Summers. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it all. 2-2 to count there. So I kind of know some of the history, some of their family members, especially one of his classmates, and of course, I remember Higginsville boys. I think 29 years ago, their boys basketball team played a state basketball game at Central Methodist. Strike. 2 outs now for Carlos Legrand, the team's leading hitter. 463 hitter, 13 overs, 42 RBIs. Well, Puerto Rico.
Number 20, Carlos Negron.
1-0 lead. Came on a pass ball. 1 hit. First pitch to Legrand. That's a strike there. 0-1 in the count. No balls and 1 strike with Jeremy Conforti on deck. That's inside 1-1. Boy, we started out Friday in the 60s. Now we're in the 40s. I think that wind came in late Friday afternoon, cooled the temperatures down. Hits the ground ball to third. Third baseman has it. Throw the first, and there's the third out. So 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. No one let on. We head to the top of the 2nd inning. Central Methodist 1 and Mount Mercy nothing.
And a goal for Benedictson.
Walk-off home run. Boom, bada bang.
Amos Bale takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net.
Don't know if Ponte's out. Here's a shot. There's the goal.
No errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, no errors for Mount Mercy.
Now batting, number 16, Josh Notriano.
Here's Josh Notriano. 246 homer, 10 RBIs. Left-handed hitter from Jonesburg, Illinois. Johnsburg, Illinois. Around the Chicago area. I remember the first time I remember that town was watching the weathercast on WGN television by a guy named Tom Skilling. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0. A swing and a miss. 1-1 now. On deck is Riley Runquist. 1-1 to count. The 1-1. Loops a liner. I think Negron has it. Yes, he does. There's out number 1 there. Here's Riley Runquist, a 302 hitter, 2 homers, 8 RBIs from Arlington Heights, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Of course, I remember on WGN Sports they had a guy named Dan Rowe. And I think during the summertime they even have some horse racing that takes place in Arlington Heights. And I think that every year they always have the Illinois Stakes. One of their big, most premier horse events. That usually takes place around April, right before the Kentucky Derby. The 1-0. Hits the ground ball. Sears to Weatherford. 2 quick outs. And here is Bryce Brown, 189 hitter, 1 homer, 4 RBIs here. From Groveland, Illinois. Another area, I think I remember that from watching WGN television. The first pitch, a foul ball, strike 1 there. That was back in the day. You used to watch the Cubs games on WGN. I remember when Harry Carey used to announce people's names. And I think there were some family members that came to Wrigley Field, came from Groveland. The 0-1 now. Whoops, a liner. Can Negron make it? Yes, he did. Another 1-2-3 inning. Goes Mount Mercy. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Central Methodist. One run, one hit, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, no errors for Mount Mercy as Jeremy Conforte comes to bat. 360 hitter, 3 homers, 17 RBIs from Villa Park going around the Chicago area.
Number 33, Jeremy Conforti.
One of my favorite TV shows that ever took place was the Bob Newhart Show. They had a guy named Bob Newhart who was a psychologist. First pitch to him. A swing and a miss. Worked in an office there in one of the main areas of Chicago. Of course, had a receptionist named Carol Kester. That's a fair ball. Third baseman has it. Throw to first. Got him. Bang, bang play. There's out number 1 there. And here's Diego Durin. 324 hitter, no homers, 14 RBIs from Venezuela. He is sporting those pink gloves there. Those pink batting gloves. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, hopefully he can give me one of those for my 50th birthday next year. On March the 10th. That's a ball 1-0 to count. Or I'm sure somebody on the team will give me some of those pink batting gloves next year. 1-0. A swing and a miss. 1-1 to count. Zeb Weedy is on deck. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 to count. 2 balls and a strike on Diego Durin. 2-1 pitch. That's inside. 3-1 to count. 3 balls and a strike on Diego Durin. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. 3-2 now. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I was like, no punch out
3-2
yet.
pitch. Looping liner. Foul. Of course, some of the famous athletes. One of those is a guy named Luis Aparicio, who was a shortstop on the White Sox team when they won the pennant, known as the Go-Go Sox. 3-2 pitch. Looping liner. That's a foul ball, or as Joe Garagiola used to say, that is called protecting the plate. Three and two, the count. 1 out in the bottom of the second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. There's strike 3. There's 2 quick outs now. Here's Zeb Weedy, a 372 hitter, 2 homers, 16 RBI. He is from Harrisburg, South Dakota. I want to wish his mom, Tiffany, a happy birthday. Tiffany, I'm sure you're listening on the broadcast. I want to say hi to his mom. Happy birthday. And I'm sure probably Tiffany probably sent a message to Zeb that says, hey, get a hit on my birthday. The 1-0 pitch. A little bit inside, too. And it's kind of like was about 13 days ago when Teresa Jolly told Casey to hit the home run on my birthday. And, of course, she ended up getting 2 on my birthday and game number 1 against St. Mary. 2 balls and a strike on Zeb Weedy. Joseph Weatherford is on deck. 2-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball in the center field. Center field goes back. And he makes the catch right in front of the warning track. 1, 2, 3 inning goes Central Methodist. We're through 2. Central Methodist 1 and Mount Mercy nothing on the Hart Conference Network.
Bales takes the shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
One run, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. And now coming to bat, Kyle Mater. Kyle Mater, 303 hitters, no homers, 13 RBIs. From Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which is where Mount Mercy is located. Foster Sykes got the first 6 recorded. The first pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 the count. Nick Meyer on deck. 1-0 to count, the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1, 2-1 to count. 2 balls and a strike on Zach. Kyle Mater. 2-1 pitch. Little chopper, foul. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Two balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Mater. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off there. 2-2. Right behind the Mount Mercy dugout. Heading toward the batting cages. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He's got the first 7 recorded. And now here comes Nick Meyer, a 111 hitter, no homers, no RBIs from West Des Moines, Iowa. First pitch to him. There's a strike. 0-1 now. 0-1 the count. 0-1 pitch. Hits a fly ball in the left center field. And it's gone. A home run. And the game is tied at 1. By Nick Meyer. His first of the year, RBI number 1. So Foster Sykes just needs to settle down, talk to the baseball, point to Dominic Van Dorn. Here's Drake Frazier, 222 hitter, no homers, 8 RBIs. First pitch. There's a strike, 0-1 now. First of two today. 0-1 the count. Loops a liner. There's a base hit up the middle. Second straight hits now for Mount Mercy. And now here's their second baseman, Jaden Hackbarth. He lined out to Valentine Cerna Jr. His first time up.
Cappy, is the camera over there? Camera bag? No.
Frazier's at first, trying to put the bunt play, and a strike call. 0-1 now. Joel Vasquez on deck. 2 hits already for Mount Mercy, and a tie game at 1. They throw over there. Back goes Frazier. One tie. 0-1 to count. The 0-1. That's outside. 1-1 now. One and one to count. They throw over there. Back goes Frazier. Boy. 1-1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 1-2. 1-2 to count. Softball will be getting underway in about 38 minutes. They're taking on Clark. The first of 2 games are Clark 8-8, 0-2 in the conference. 1-2 the count. The 0-2. Oh, that hit him. Oh, my. So now first and second, and still 1 out. Foster Site just needs to regroup. Just need to gather your thoughts. Just clear your mind and gather your thoughts. Joel Vasquez struck out his first time up. First and second, 1 out. And the pitch. Ball, 1-0 to count. Matthew Murphy's on deck. Looks like the home plate umpire is going after the baseball there, making sure we got him an extra one set. One and 1 ball, no strikes. Still 1-0. Fouls it off. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 tie. Central Methodist scored on a pass ball that scored Bobby Nichols. And then Nick Meyer hit a home run to tie it at 1. Now we have first and second and 1 out. The 1-1. Misses that one high. 2-1 now. 2-1 on Joel Vasquez. 2 balls and a strike. They throw over there. Ooh. Now, I tell you what, if they would throw it to the middle of it, I think he had a good chance of getting Frazier picked off. He looked like he was leaning the wrong way. 2-1. Fouls it off. 2-2 now. I tell you, if there's one person who was master of throwing that could pick a runner off, would be Don Sutton. I remember one time he did that against Herb Washington of the Oakland A's. 2-2 the count. 2-2. There goes the runner and a foul ball. They were trying to go for the old hit and run play. Two and 2 on Joel Vasquez. 2-2 to count. 2-2 pitch. Ropes the line. There's a base hit. Here comes Meyer. The throw, it is cut off, and a 2-1 lead there. So Frazier scores, and it's single. So for Vasky, that's his 9th of the year, and a 2-1 lead for Mount Mercy.
Now batting, number 19,
So Matthew Murphy up there, he flew out to Bobby Nichols his first time. There's Jordan Schwambach out there.
I'll say, yeah, you can play some low music. Yep. 2 runs, 3 hits for them. That's good. Say 15? Yeah.
First and second, still 1 out. 2-1 lead for Mount Mercy. As Matthew Murphy up there, he flew out to Bobby Nichols his first time up. Foster side trying to keep it where it is. The first pitch. I think he went.
This is Murphy, right?
Yeah. 1 ball, no strikes. Number 19 from Chicago. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. That's outside. 2-0 the count. Josh Notarino on deck. Two and one now. That hit him again. Now it looks like an explanation there. Hit him on the foot. So the count is 2-1 now.
Gabby, 2 balls.
And now the umpiring crew wants to talk it over.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're. Oh. So that would be.
I think that's what because he called obstruction at home. It's given him 3 seconds to go.
Yeah. Okay, they changed their mind.
So now it's 2-1 to count. 2-1 to count. 2 balls and a strike. Hackbarth at second. Vasquez at first. 2-1 pitch. There's a pitch. Strike 2. 2-2 now. Two and two the count. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Still 2-2. Two and two the count on Matthew Murphy. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So big out there. So 2 outs. Here's Josh Notarino. He flew out to Carlos DeGrom his first time. Notriano up the bat. Hackbarth's the second. Vasquez at first. 2-1 lead for Mount Mercy. Scoring both of the runs. Home run by Nick Meyer, then an RBI signal by Vasquez. The pitch. A little bit inside. 1-0 now on Josh Notriano. One and 0 to count. The 1-0. Fouls it off. 1-1 now. And on deck is Riley Runquist. Looks like activity in the Central Methodist bullpen there. That looks like that is Alexander Billow. And I'm sure his mom, Natalie, is listening in from Winter Haven, Florida. The 1-1. 2-1 the count. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on Josh Nortriano. 2-1 pitch. Oh, nice stop by Van Dorn, but not far enough. 3-1 the count. Three and one to count. Lopes a liner. And it's going to score Hackbar. It hit the third. It's a double to make it 3-1. For Nortriano, that's his 11th RBI of the year. And a 3-1 lead now for Mount Mercy on the 4th hit of the game. Riley Runquist grounded out to Tanner Sears his first time up.
4 hits, Gabby.
First pitch. Nice stop there. 1-0 the count. Bryce Brown is on deck. The 1-0. Misses inside. 2-0 to count. Foster Sides just needs to settle down, talk to the baseball, point to the catcher, like Mark the Bird Fidgers used to do on Monday Night Baseball back in 1976. Oh, that's on the inside corner. 2-1 now. Or as Kurt Gowdy would say, that is called reaching back for something extra. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Oh, nice job there. 2-2. Good job of framing it by Dominic Van Dorn. 2-2 the count on Riley Runquist. Hits the ground ball. Cerna Jr. has it. Throws over to Weatherford for the third out. So 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors. 2 left on. We head to the bottom of the third. Mount Mercy 3 and Central Methodist 1.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
For Central Methodist. And it's Joseph Weatherford up there. 296 hitter, 5 homers, 24 RBIs. From Flower Mound, Texas. I know his dad, Steve, and along with his mom, Gayla, are probably listening in. Of course, they now live in Batesville, Arkansas. The first pitch to him. There's a strike on. I think they're looking forward to a big event in a few weeks. The solar eclipse down in Batesville, Arkansas. I remember hearing that on the news. On NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. 1-1 now. 1-1. There's a strike. 1-2 now on Joseph Weatherford. 1-2 pitch. Oh, way outside. 2-2 now. Dominic Van Dorn is on deck. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three call. So 1 out now. Here's Dominic Van Dorn. 211 hitter, 1 homer, 3 RBIs from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. Around the Detroit area, of course, the Detroit Red Wings are on the number 2 wild card spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs of the Stanley Cup. That will begin in 4 weeks. First pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 the count. Detroit, if they started today, they will be taking on the Boston Bruins. First round action. It's a high fly ball. Center field. Center fielder goes back and he makes the catch for out number 2. He's got the first 8 outs. He's retired 8 in a row. And here's Bobby Nichols. He singled his first time up. Of course, I want to say hi to his dad, Mike. Mom, Nicole. His Aunt Gail. Looking forward to meeting Bobby Nichols' his family, hopefully on senior weekend. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. On deck, Valentin Cerna Jr. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. One. Fouls it off. Of course, scored the first run on a pass ball. 1-1 to count.
1 and 2, Gabby.
1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bobby Nichols. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Another 1-2-3 inning goes Central Methodist. We head to the top of the 4th. Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1. Three runs, 4 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. Quentin Norris in the catbird seat as Bryce Brown at the bat. He flew out to Carlos Negron his first time up. Foster Sides trying to keep it where it is. A 3-1 ball game. First pitch. There's a strike call. No balls and 1 strike. Of course, softball will be getting started in about 20 minutes or so at the Cox Softball Complex. 0-1 to count. Swing and a miss, and I bet you probably Hallie Ferris or maybe Haley Cotter will probably get the starting nods for the doubleheader. Central Methodist softball 21-3, ranked number 3 in the nation. 2-0 in the conference. Fouls it off. Clark is 8-8, 0-2 in the conference. No balls and 2 strikes on Bryce Brown. 0-2. Fouls that one off. 0-2. Oh and 2 to count. 0-2. Oh, nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn.
Ball, Gabby. Gabby.
1-2 now on Bryce Brown. The 1-2. Ooh, nice stop there. 2-2. 2-2 the count. Two and two, the count. 2-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball, knocks it down by Sears. Throw over the first.
That's it.
That'll be a base hit. Good effort there by Tanner Sears, knocking the ball down. And I believe that is a base hit all the way. That was a good effort there. Here's Kyle Mater. Kyle Mater struck out his first time up. So,
One more hit for Mount Mercy. One more hit for Mount Mercy.
so 5 hits already.
Thank you.
First pitch. That's a ball. 1-0 to count. One ball, no strikes. The 1-0. Hits the ground ball to Cerna Jr. They'll go to second for one. The first double play. 4-6-3 double play. 2 quick outs. As Vin Scully was, hey, that is your pitcher's best friend, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Nick Meyer. Hit a home run his first time up. First pitch. Lopes a liner. Foul ball. Just by an eyelash. 0-1 the count. 0-1 the count. 5 hits already for Mount Mercy. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1. Fouls it off. 0-2. Nick Meyer homered to tie the game, but then Mount Mercy scored 2 more on the single by Joel Vasky, and then another one by Josh Notarino. 0-2 the count. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave no one. We're halfway home. Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
We have a new pitcher or something?
Yeah, still 9.
3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. And as Valentin Cerna Jr. will be up there, he flew out to center field his first time. Of course, advanced Bobby Nichols the third and scored on the pass ball. First pitch to him. There's a strike on the outside corner. Estes Field shivering with its concrete foundations. The 0-1. There's a high pop up there. Let's see who calls for it. Left fielder makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Tanner Sears. He struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. Hits the ground ball to the shortstop. Has it, throws over the first, and there's 2 quick outs. Here's Carlos Negron. He grounded out to third his first time up.
Now batting the right fielder, number 20, Carlos Negron.
First pitch to him. There's a strike, 0-1. Jeremy Conforte's on deck. 0-1 now. Ooh, way outside, 1-1. I'm in the 4th inning. 3-1 lead for Central Methodist. Central got 1 in the first, but Mount Mercy got 3 in the 3rd. 2-1 now.
2-1, Gabby. Gabby, 2-1.
2-1 pitch. Chops it foul. 2-2.
Because you're volunteering, you're just not quite as into it.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Carlos Negron. 2-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball to the third. Oh, that's a foul ball. Thought it looked like a base hit there, but it's 2-2 now. 2-2 to count on Carlos Negron. Second game to follow at 3:30 or so. It's a high pop up there. Let's see who calls for it. Right fielder comes in and makes the catch. So another 1, 2, 3 inning goes Central Methodist. We're through 4. Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
The goal, 4-minute extending.
Walk-off home run. Boom, bada bang.
Davis Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net.
Agree with you there. As 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. Drake Frazier up there. He singled his first time. First. There he go. Yes, sir. And there's a strike. Oh, no. Frazier tried to bunt, but caught the outside corner. 0-1. Here's the pitch. High pop up there. Who's got it? And that's Valentine Sterner Jr. makes the catch for out number 1 there. Here is Jaden Hackberg. 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his last time up and scored the 3rd run. First pitch. Ball 1, 1-0 to count. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jaden Hackbarth. 3 run, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. Another pop up there. I say Weatherford may have a chance. And he does make the catch. How about that? 2 quick outs now, or as Mel Allen would say on This Week in Baseball. So 2 quick outs now. Here's Joel Vasquez, single, drove in a run his last time up. About 9 minutes or so. Central Methodist softball taking on Clark. First pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 now. Hopefully, we may get an update on the Central Methodist softball one later on during the doubleheader. 0-1 the count. 1-1 the count. Matthew Murphy on deck.
1-1.
1-1 pitch. On the inside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, but you're having some difficulties over there. Okay.
She's had a little more than she was offering, that's all.
1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. Good pitch, and as Joe Garagiola would say on NBC television, a 1-2-3 for the first time since the second inning. And 1-2-3 inning goes Mount Mercy. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
Here, was that swinging or looking?
He was looking, or as Phil Rizua would call it, WW.
Alrighty. That was Vasky.
Yeah.
Conforti
Yep.
coming up.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Three runs, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for Central Methodist. Bottom of the 5th inning. Central Methodist trying to get something going here. As Jeremy Conforti up there. He grounded out the third his first time. Nate Breland coaching in the third base coach's box. Trey Rosenfloss is in the first base coach's box. 3-1. First pitch to Conforti. That's a ball outside, of course. All 3 runs from Mount Mercy came in the third inning. Central Methodist's only run came in the first. On the pass ball, that scored Bobby Nichols, the 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. 1-1 now on Jeremy Conforti. 0-1-1. That's a strike, 1-2 now. With Diego Duran on deck. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 1 out now. Here's Diego Duran. He struck out his first time. Sporting those pink gloves.
Now back at the shortstop. Number 4, Diego Dorin.
What are we doing?
Looks like time was called.
Oh, okay.
5 hits for Mount Mercy. 1 hit for Central Methodist. First pitch to him. It's a high pop up there. That may go out of play behind the first base dugout. 0-1 the count with Zeb Weedy on deck. Also want to give a happy birthday to Bob Costas, number 72. 1-1 the count. Looking forward to hearing him on the MLB Network. 1-1. It's the ground ball to third. Third baseman has it throw to first. And they got him. 2 quick outs now. And I believe Bob Costas' his first MLB game on April the 2nd. As Cincinnati takes on, looks like, I believe it's Cincinnati and Philadelphia at 5:30. Here's Zeb Weedy. He flew out to center field his first time up. Even though the program says Harrisburg, Missouri, but it's Harrisburg, South Dakota. Here's a ground ball. Base hit for the first time since the first inning. The first hit. That's the second hit altogether. First since the first inning. Here's Joseph Weatherford.
2 hits for CMU, Gabby.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 29, Joseph Weatherford.
Joseph Weatherford struck out his first time up. First pitch. Lines a base hit there. Here comes Weedy. He'll stop at second. First and second there. 2 straight hits now. Last time we had a runner in scoring position wasn't the first inning when Bobby Nichols stole second. Here's Dominic Van Dorn. He flew out to center field his first time up.
3 hits, Gabby.
So now Nick Tampa is the courtesy runner for Zeb Weedy.
Courtesy.
Second base, number 9, Nick Tampa.
Nick Tampa.
So courtesy runner, that's Tampa at second. The courtesy runner, Weatherford's at first. If he can hit a shot down the deep left field corner, deep right field corner, in the gap between, let's say, center and right, that could score Weatherford to tie the game. First pitch. Ball 1 on deck is Bobby Nichols. 1-0 the count on Dominic Van Dorn. The 1-0. Hits the ground ball to the shortstop. They'll throw over the third for the third out. So no runs on 2 hits. No errors, and they leave 2. We're through 5. Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
No matter where you are in your educational journey, Central Methodist University is here for you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
Murphy?
Murphy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he is staying out.
Yeah, number 19 in the on-deck circle.
Alright, I think Nick Tampa's staying put. Tampa?
Yep, he is. He just turned his back to me. He's flying himself.
Alright.
3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. The new left fielder, Nick Tampa. There's Matthew Murphy, 0 for 2. Flew out to Bobby Nichols in the first, struck out in the third. Foster Sites on the mound for his 6th inning of work. There's Alexander Billow, warms up in the bullpen from Winter Haven, Florida. Hits the ground ball to Tanner Sears. Throws over to Weatherford. Nice stretch. Beautiful. 1 down. 1 down now. What a play by Joseph Weatherford on the stretch. Josh Nortriano, 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 0-1 now on Josh Nortriano. Looks like should be getting started between Central Methodist and Clark. The 0-1. Ball 1-1 now. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. 1-2 now on Josh Nortriano. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 2 quick outs now for Riley Runquist. 0 for 2. Grounded out to Sears in the second. Grounded out to Valentin Cerna Jr. in the third. First pitch. Ooh, outside. 1-0 to count. Of course, second game to fall scheduled for 3:30, but we may start early. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. 2-0 to count. 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 to count. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. 2-1 to count. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Nice job of framing on the outside corner for a strike 3. A 1-2-3 and goes Mount Mercy. Bottom of the 6th. Central Methodist, Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
And a goal for Benedictine.
Walk-off home run. Boom, bada bang.
Amos Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net.
Three runs, 5 hits, no errors for Mount Mercy. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for Central Methodist. Trey Rasenflash heads over to the first base coach's box as Bobby Nichols 1 for 2 with a single. Here it comes. First pitch to Nichols. Here's a little roller. Foul. Strike 1.
He'll be okay. But I'll take the front. I'm okay with it.
0-1 now on Bobby Nichols. Quentin Norris sitting in the catbird seat. Second game is scheduled to start 3:30. We may start around 3 or so, depending on how the game turns out. 3-1 now. Central got 1 in the first. Mount Mercy came with 3 in the third. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now. 0-2 now. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, outside. 1-2. Valentin Cerna Jr. on deck. The 1-2. Ball 2. 2-2 the count. Two and two to count. Hits the ground ball to the third baseman. Has it, throws over the first. And there's out number 1 there. Yeah. Here's Valentin Cerna Jr. 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. Flied out the center in the first. Flew out the left in the third. In the fourth.
Number 7, Valentin Cerna Jr.
First pitch. Fouls it off. 0-1 now. Tanner Sears on deck. 0-1 now. Bit high. 1-1. 1-1 to count on Valentin Cerna Jr. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 now on Valentin Cerna Jr. Two-one pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Up the middle, base hit. That's the 4th hit of the game now. Now Tanner Sears comes to bat. 0 for 2 on today. Struck out in the 1st, then grounded out to short in the 4th.
4 hits, Gabby.
Now batting the third baseman, number 21, Tanner Sears.
Gabby, 4 hits.
Now it looks like time has been called for. Trying to talk it over with Tanner Sears. Braylon talks it over with the team. I'll tell you one thing about Coach Braylon. I tell you this, his IQ rating, I would tell you this. He reminds me of Tom Lasorda, the Dodgers manager from back in the 70s. Sears at bat. Cerna Jr. is at first with the single. They're going to check on him. The pitch to Sears. Ball 1, 1-0 now. Carlos Negron on there. One ball, no strikes. They throw over there. Back goes Valentin Cerna Jr. Four hits for Central Methodist. Junior's at first with a 1 out. The 1-0. That's a strike on the outside corner. A 1-1. Carlos Negron on deck.
What are you all doing?
1-1 to count. The 1-1. Ball 2. 2-1. Carlos Negron on deck. 2-1 now on Tanner Sears. You wonder if he has the green light. 2-1. Lines a shot. Base hit. Cerna Jr. will stop at second. And now the tying runs at first. For Carlos Negron, 0 for 2. Grounded out to third. His first time up. Flew out to right field.
5 hits, Gabby.
The right fielder, number 20, Carlos Negron.
And now a courtesy run. That's Nick Tampa in to run for Tanner Sears.
Trey Vorwald.
Trey Vorwald, okay.
Running at first base, number 3, Trey Vorwald.
So Trey Vorwald from Manteno, Illinois is their courtesy runner.
Gabby, 5 hits.
So now, here's Negron, 0 for 2. Now it looks like conference action there.
Yeah.
We'll just take a time out here, and the scores, Mount Mercy 3, Central Methodist 1.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
course, opening day for the Cardinals taking on the Dodgers at 3 o'clock. Of course, the Dodgers are 1-1. Royals take on the Minnesota Twins, 3 p.m. from Kauffman Stadium. And, of course, 6:30, the Cubs and the Rangers from Arlington. First and second, 1 out now. Tying runs at second. Cerna Jr.'s at second. Tampa, actually, Vorwall is the courtesy runner. He's the tying run. The pitch to him. That's a strike, 0-1 now. If Negron can hit a shot, maybe to the deep part of the left, or maybe deep part of right, or in the gap safe between left and center, not only you score Cerna Jr., but also Vorwald. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to count. With Jeremy Conforti on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 to count there on Carlos Negron. Here's the 0-2. That's a bit high. 1-2 to count. Conforti on deck. 3-1 Mount Mercy. Tying runs at first. Go ahead runs at the plate. 1-2. Hits a high fly ball in the left field. That may be hit well. Left fielder gives a chase. It's gone! A 3-run homer for Carlos Negron. Holy cow! His 14th year, RBI number 45, and Central Methodist now leads it 4-3. A 4-3 lead for Central Methodist. 6 hits already now for Central Methodist. Here's Jeremy Conforti, 0 for 2.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 33, Jeremy Conforti.
So 4-3 lead on a 3-run homer by Carlos Negron. Here's Conforti. Hits a high pop-up. This may go out of play. Catcher calls for it. And there's out number 2. So 2 outs now for Diego Duran. 0 for 2. Struck out in the second. Grounded out the third.
Now batting the shortstop, number 4, Diego Duran.
Zeb Wadey out there, even though Nick Tampa took over and left, so first pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1 now. 4-3 now. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now.
Gabby 0-2.
0-2 now on Diego Duran. Oh, that hit him. Oh, my. So now, runner at first now for Zeb Weedy. 1 for 2 with a single.
That he what? Oh, okay.
Strike 3 call, so 3 runs on 3 hits. Thanks to a 3-run homer by Carlos Negron. We head to the 7th. Central Methodist 4 and Mount Mercy 3. Brown, Mater, and Meyer.
Tanner in the 3 spot.
Yeah, Tanner's 3. Mm-hmm.
So they said he stepped into it, huh?
See, the second game's at 3:30.
This game, we might start early depending on.
Well, yeah, I know it's scheduled. I know I'm. I know it's scheduled for 3:30, but I just didn't know if we were going to start early, just in case. Wait, the game's.
Yeah, we'll
Oh, okay. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Mount Mercy. Of course, second game to follow. Bryce Brown 1 for 2 with a single. Central Methodist needs 3 more outs for win number 24. But most importantly, how about 10-1 in the conference? Strike call, 0-1 in the count. Hopefully we'll see how softball is looking so far. 0-1 now. Ball 1, 1-1 in the count. 0-0, bottom of the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to 1-1. 2-1 the count. Some NHL scores to pass along to you. Third period, New York Islanders lead Winnipeg 6-2. Third period, 1-0 lead for Philadelphia over Boston. Swing and a miss, 2-2 now. St. Louis and Minnesota 1-1. And of course, 5 p.m. Detroit and Nashville. Of course, the big one, Florida and New York Rangers on ABC Sports. 2-2 the count. Chops it foul, 42,416 on hand. Millions are watching on television across the world. Or as Jim McKay was saying, we're spanning the globe. 2-2 pitch. Slices that one foul. 2-2 the count. Second game's scheduled for 3:30, but I'm thinking we're going to start way early, maybe around 3 o'clock or so. But we'll wait and see. 2-2 pitch. Pops it up. Let's see who calls for it. I think it's Duran. Oh, that's going out of play. Alexander Billow is warming up in the Central Methodist bullpen, just in case. Two and two the count. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Kyle Mater is at the bat. 0 for 2. Struck out in the third. Hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the fourth. That really kind of turned the game around right there. No question about it. So 2 outs away. Here's the pitch. Strike call. Estes Field shivering with his concrete foundations. 0-1 the count. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now. No balls and 2 strikes.
Don't do that, Gabby.
0-2 the count. 1-2 now on Kyle Mater. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Looks like a pinch hitter on deck. That's Brandon Bickford, I do believe. It's a fly ball in the center field. That's Nichols. 2 down and 1 more to go. As Brandon Bickford is the pinch hitter.
What's this number, Cam?
36.
Thank you.
367 hitter, no homers, 6 RBIs from Des Moines, Iowa. That's the AAA home of the Chicago Cubs. 1 more to go for win number 24. Most importantly, 10-1 in the conference. Looks like on deck is their catcher, Ryan Knowlton. The first pitch. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and 1 strike. Listen to this crowd here at Estes Field. The 0-1. Misses that one. 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Estes Field shivering with its concrete foundations. 1-1. Strike 2. 1-2 the count on Brandon Bickford. 1 strike away. 1-2 the count. 1-2. Oh, nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn. 2-2 the count, just to increase the tension. As Vin Scully used to say it on the Dodger Radio Network. And also on NBC television. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Chopper to Sears. Throws over to Weatherford. That's the ball game. Central Methodist wins it 4-3. We'll give you the final line numbers there. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for Mount Mercy. Central Methodist, they are 24-4, 10-1 in the conference. Mount Mercy is 12-13, and 8-3 in the conference. We'll have game 3 for you in about maybe 30 minutes or so. This is Quentin Norris saying so long for right now. That's 7,358 of them. So long in a bone bit.